Okay, welcome to Blender, guys. So in this tutorial I'm going to be looking at red tiles. I've been looking at doing this one for quite some time, but I wasn't too sure how to approach it because I didn't know whether to do a repeat pattern or whether I wanted to do actual tiles individually. But to be honest with you, with the amount of experimenting that I've been doing with this, tiles individually seem to be the better option. So before we start, let's go ahead to the render. Let's go to the render engine, which should be switched out to cycles. We'll go ahead and just scale down the default cube. I'm going to get the side view actually just to make sure that we've got that. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead, elongate this a little bit, and then we're going to go to edit mode. Let's go to face at the front. Let's go ahead and bevel this off a little bit. So we're going to go in and scale, and then we can go in and scale a little bit more on the center right here. So we've got that nice tile look. That little bevel at the front. We're going to go right click, shade smooth. Let's go to the side view right here. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to make a brick kind of texture. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the camera and the lighting just for the moment whilst we just build this. Let's go ahead and just scale this down just ever so slightly. I'm going to go ahead and get it onto the red line actually. See whether we can get it here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will Shift D. Bring this across just to about here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I would suggest trying to get it at least a square apart. If you want to get it perfect, to be honest with you, if we go Shift D, move this across, maybe we can go with 5. Actually, let's go 4. Okay, 4.5. That's a bit too big. Okay, let's go with 4.2. No, 4.3. Let's go 4.3. So 4.3. Just about there. Okay, so each tile 4.3. So let's go Shift D, move across. And we want to go 4.3. And then we can go Shift D, move across, 4.3. Shift D, move across, 4.3. You get where I'm going with this. Shift D, move across, 4.3. So, essentially what we want to do is just make kind of a nice brick pattern to begin with. We're going to go to Materials tab to begin with and change these to red, which they all should because they're on the same material. If they're not on the same material tab, just go down to this drop down right here with the little world symbol and you should have your material right there. So let's go ahead and change these to metallic because these are tiles after all. A little bit of roughness if you want it on there, but you don't have to have the roughness if you don't want the roughness. So let's go ahead and take these. Now, if you want to do the maths on this, that's fine, and do your 4.3 in between each. But to be honest with you, you could probably just kind of plan it just by eye if you're good at that. So let's take this entire row. Let's go Shift D. And I'm going to believe like maybe 4.3 will work. No, 4.3 is not going to work with this. Okay, so let's play this by eye. Again, get that nice little gap just in between. Let's go G. And you want to move these to the halfway point. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, why don't you just use brick texture? Well, the thing is that the bevel for brick texture sometimes doesn't work. And then there's other techniques that people use that kind of work, but they're not something that I would use. So sometimes when you need detail, you kind of need the actual objects. That's the way that I see it. I mean, if you've got your own way of doing something, then go ahead and do that. This is just the way that I do it. So I'm going to go Shift D again. Let's select everything. Shift D. Move up to the top right there. Shift D. Move up to the top. And essentially you're just building a wall. Really, with this. I think my dog's being chased. So we're just going to build the wall up just here. And all we're going to do is going to go add. And let's go plane. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate this by 90. I think he's nicked off with something of my partner's again. he does that a lot. So we're just going to go ahead and just scale this up in the background. This is going to be the mortar. We can put this as white. White's kind of nice, actually. Let's go G. Just move this across, just forward a little bit. So you've got that nice little texture going on. So in this part for the mortar, I mean, you can make this bumpy if you wanted to, but most mortar that's put between tiles is quite smooth. You can go ahead and have them sticking out. You can go ahead and have them kind of uniform a little bit more, but then again, it kind of flattens out the object. So I will probably have them somewhere just about here. So this is our brick wall. I'm going to go ahead and add some lighting so you guys can see what's going on. Let's go with G. And we're just going to turn up the exposure right here. And here is our brick wall of tiles. Or a tiled wall, if you will. So this would be great for, say, a project where you have a lot of detail, because you can see where the shadows are hitting. To put this on kind of a texture, I mean, it's going to look really flat with the texture, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and get a lamp in here, actually, because then you guys can see what's going on a little bit better. Take this off here. Okay, let's go add. Light, and then we're going to put spot. Let's go with the spot on here. And then just turn it toward the wall. So this should work. Let's move the exposure up a little bit. Come on. You have to come back off the render again. Come on. Let's turn up the exposure. Maybe we could get a nice blue in here. So now, yeah, you can see the blue coming into the tiles right there. On that particular one. And how it's deeper here, and then it kind of spreads gently outwards towards the back. And then you can see some of the reflection coming through from the other side as well. So I think that this is a little bit of a better technique. You know, if you've got your own technique, you know, feel free to go ahead and use that. But for me personally, if I was going to make something detailed, this is probably the technique that I would use. So yeah, if you enjoyed the tutorial, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.